What is good, my Impact Wrestling fam? Welcome to another edition of TNAIW Reaction, right here on the TNAIW channel. My name is Geoff, and I want to thank you for pressing play, hitting like, hitting subscribe. You guys know the deal here. It's not about the numbers. One fan at a time, one friend at a time. We're building community. I appreciate the comments. We'll hit some of those later. Appreciate the loves, or the love I'm giving you for the likes you're giving me. The ratio, trying to save it. The ratio has been great, and I thank you guys very much. So hit those thumbs ups. Let's hit the algorithm. But regardless, we got some fun stuff coming on the show tonight. We got a bunch of fun stuff coming on the channel this week, including the return of LOL TNA, myself, Johnny, Lucha back at it. Free medicine's not your thing. It's still going to be a good time. There's enough gimmicks to keep and pique your interest. This week, we're starting with the high five. We're bringing to the table... We're starting positive. The top 5 things to happen in the Hulk Hogan era of TNA/Impact. So we'll get to that this Tuesday at 4:20, and then Go Power Rankings every Tuesday at 7 with Dr. Lebert and Lucha. Check that out. I'm going to drink some water. And get rid of the Velvets. We're going to hit up Impact, of course, and talk about BTI before that, as we always do. 92 minutes of Impact. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed they're giving a little more runtime lately. We'll hit the ratings. We'll hit the Nielsen as well really quick. Go over next week's show. Bound for Glory updates. Bound for Glory Fallout. As you can see in that picture, some really cool stuff happening within Impact. Bound for Glory and Post, including the Ospreay sticking around for a bit. Myron Reed. Spoiler free here, but I think he's going to get the cross the line the gimmick from our Twitter account soon, I think. If he hasn't already done it, he might have. And then some notes about Hulk Hogan. As I already mentioned Hulk Hogan, we're going to actually mention something funny he mentioned in his interview with Chris Van Vliet. But a lot of good things going on, guys, for Impact. And we're going to start tonight's review off with BTI. Savannah getting a victory over Jessica. You know, my greatest compliment, and I know what does it matter, right? But the greatest compliment I could give is when someone looks like an action figure, when someone presents themselves like a video game character, and I'm like, oh, I want to play them, or I want to, be them. And Savannah, man, is putting it all together. I wanted to save this for the Giselle and Skylar segment later, but hit it right here because she's picking up a victory on BTI. But looking the part, man, digging the evolution of Savannah, and the theme music's a banger, so that doesn't hurt the cause. We're starting our 92 minutes, though, of Impact on AXSTV with Tasha defeating Killer Kelly. Tasha and Deonna. Deonna coming down, pulling out the ref, assisting before the blackout victory with Tasha getting the pin over Killer Kelly. We're starting, as I said last week, the Bound for Glory, What Do You Got For Me tag team of the year is going to be Tasha and Deonna, but you can't argue. They're both stars, both walk, look, act the part, and so it's going to be enjoyable. The matchup getting announced for Bound for Glory, Tasha and Deonna are getting the tag team title shot against MK Ultra, but it's going to be fun. It gets them on the card, and even though they were wearing Patriots gear, if we get more photo shoots with them, I'm not going to complain. Plus, hey, enjoyable segment, good matchup here, and looking forward to Bound for Glory. Next up is that segment I was just mentioning. Giselle forces Jay. She's mad at the Shaw Taraj, as we thought might happen after last week's loss over against Trinity. But Giselle's going to force Jay to be John Skylar's partner here. Skylar was looking to add Savannah to his team, and then obviously she wrestled and so on. But anyways, so we're going to get Jay and Skylar in the Fans Revenge match. Can't get my words out. What's new? We're going to keep this going. Gia's going to be backstage with Jonathan Gresham. Love the development of Jonathan Gresham as far as character and what they're doing with him. Love the turn. Love his work. But he's going to be interviewed, of course, by Gia, who love to see her say that she's really digging the manager side of the business and doing some of that stuff. So would we see her on screen in that capacity? Maybe is she the next Bullet Babe? I don't know. But I love Mean Gia Miller, man. I said this many times before, and I'll continue to say it. She's the first in that I won't say evolution, but the continuation and the continuity of famous backstage interviewers, where it's not just what they're asking, but their reaction to the answer they're getting, where we look forward to it, just like we do with Gia's. There's people. There was Christy was great. JB. There was different people. I could go on. I'd be searching for a while and then I could list them, but you guys get what I'm saying. So love Gia. She stays in this role or as a manager. Intrigued nonetheless. And I'm intrigued by Bayley and Gresham still, man. They obviously had that great match where Gresham got the tights. Bayley's making that known. And look, no one's going to confuse them for or give them an award for, best promo. But what they could do in that ring and the story they could tell when that bell rings is second to none. So I'm all for this. Bayley, of course, getting ready for Ospreay at Bound for Glory. After this, man, is speaking of Bound for Glory, let's talk about that quick. Bound for Glory Fallout, Dreamer versus Crazy Steve for the DMC. So we're going to get our finality of this program, or at least the next part of it here, or the day after Bound for Glory, the show after. But, look, I'm all for Tommy's moments, and I popped at White Plains. But this is another drawn-out promo, man, that kind of just put me out of left field, man. I don't even know the analogy. I feel like the promo itself. It didn't get any traction for me. Until Steve came out, and then of course he's gonna do all the I remember this when you couldn't see, and we did all these moments, and they're trying to build stuff. Look, I'm excited for Crazy Steve and what they're doing with that character, but I was not interested in this promo and the pandering. But luckily, we get a little something when Steve puts a fork and literally stabs Tommy in the back, which I believe got extra heat because I'm pretty sure that fork was out of Tommy's private collection. Stupid. Look, man, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Tommy's profile, that picture. I think it's time to move on from Tommy as the DMC. It was nice for the moment. Maybe it puts Steve over. I love Tommy. It's hard to say anything negative, to be honest, but the proof's in the television I just watched. Not a fan of that man. But glad they got the fork gimmick in there. That was entertaining. Next up is the 10-man match. The winning team will go on next week to face off, and then the winner of that match will be the number 20 seed, or number 20 entrant. And then the person who takes the pin will be the number 1. So it's going to be Jake, Dango, Singh, EY, and Jordan Grace defeating Bully, Myers, King, Threat, and Shira. I really liked this match and how it was laid out. There was a little bit of everything as far as everyone interacting. Shira and Raj on one side each. You have, Bully and Grace having their thing from the past. You have, there's a lot of things here. King and Threat on the same team. Dango and Jake on the same team. By the way, we come back after that fork to the back to a Dango roundhouse. So that was was a nice way to jump into this match and his entrance. So there was a little bit of everything in here. I know I'm missing some combinations that happen. I like seeing Kylan and Bully tag team because if you're a Mark, that she trained under him. So there's really some really cool things here, man. Bully going soft was the question last week and something that gets asked again this week. And by the body slam he put on Grace, it seemed like he did, man. Anyone else notice that? Yeah, going soft, Bully. But all I have for that, besides that, is Dango with a crown, and EY needs a beard. That's my analysis. I don't know, guys. But either way, we're going to get Dango, Jake, Raj, EY, and Grace in a 5-way this coming week. And one will be the number 1, and one will be the number 20. So interested to see there. Where do you guys think it shakes up? How do you think it plays out? Spoiler free, of course, but interested to see the results of that. Next, going to be back-to-back Gia with one with Josh and then Shelley, and one with Mickey video package and then Trinity. So bringing home the world title development here, bringing some heat to those rivalries, and we'll get some more on the world title one, Shelley's world title, later in the main event. After these, we have ABC defeating Skylar and Vidal in a fans revenge match. Look, we're in Memphis. It makes sense. I skipped over the Spencer, aka what was Dane Crook, where he's teaching them how to whip and get aggressive. This was fun. It was fun. It gave ABC a win. Obviously there must have been plants in there too, right? Some of these people looked too in shape, but yeah, man, I caught myself watching the acting of the people around more so than the match itself. But it was entertaining. It was entertaining. You can't go wrong with ABC in a match. And I'll move on. But look, it was funny. It was funny. This is groundbreaking review shit here, guys, tonight. Who am I after talking about that Tommy turd that was laid this week? But anyways, speaking of talking nonsense, that's maybe after, because first we're going to get Moose and Myers coming down. Moose getting back into single action here, decimating Bhupinder with the spear. Boopy and the Flounder. Love Boopy, but he needs to find his footing. I think a nice heel turn would be good for him, man. And wouldn't mind at this point if it's with Raj and Shira. Make them all champagne, if you will. But he's gonna eat defeat here, man. And after the match, Macklin's gonna come out and confront Moose and Myers, because Moose, the Rhino, caused Macklin the thing because it flew over. I was there and it's still convoluted for me. This whole segment was convoluted for me. There was a lot of working parts that they were trying to get in here, and my give a fuck was on empty, to be honest. I love all the characters pretty much involved here. Macklin once again is going to go on about Moose and Myers and how that should be his briefcase. Moose is going to say he's talking nonsense, which he is, and that's going to lead to the Bully is soft, isn't he? He's not going to come out and attack you, because I guess Bully and Macklin are still a really close unit. I don't think we've really seen that since his injury, maybe one match. Yeah, just a lot of things we're trying to bring in and tie in and make us still care about and use to launch whatever's going on here. But then PCO is going to come out, and Bully was scared of PCO, but Macklin's not scared of PCO, but PCO is going to... And then Macklin gets away and Rhino spears him on the thing. There's just a lot of shit going on. And love the characters. I don't know where this goes, Macklin and Rhino. Like I said, not my top of my list for Bound for Glory, but it is what it is. PCO, how am I supposed to care for him when he says he's leaving? And he's already put in his notice. Just watch the show. Even from that angle, I wasn't enjoying this. But I do love the characters, and we'll see where this goes. Interested with Moose having the world title shot. Not saying Josh is going to win or that's a given, but Moose already does have that victory over Josh in that tag match. Was that Mergence? You guys will let me know. So there's already heat on that for Moose too. And, of course, they have the history. I don't know if these briefcases can be cashed in or not without announcing. All these other ones have been announced so far. But interesting with Moose holding that and the history with Josh. But we'll keep going. After this, it's going to be the Rascals and ABC. And ABC are going to declare that they are going to cash in their briefcase at Bound for Glory. And before it's locked in Rascals ABC, Santino comes in, likes what he's hearing, but he's going to add ABC will face the winner of Rascals versus Swan and Callahan. We kind of thought this was going to happen last week as a send-off for Sami. Once again, spoiler-free, so Who am I? They might have won, and there's one more taping. I don't know. But I don't think so. With that being said, if you do read the old rags or the sheets, looks like Sami said they're on great terms. He's on great terms with Impact, which it seems to be the case. As he said, it's just kind of a timing thing. Impact's budget going multiple different places. So kind of what we all kind of thought. Why would there be bad blood between someone who seems so ingrained, not only in the, what I call the house show aspect of it, because most of our team is with PW Revolver on the regular. And then someone who does a show for the YouTube channel and has always been, I don't want to say Mr. Impact, but, a foundation piece here, man. So I hope it works out. I think it will work out. I want him to come back with a fire-ass storyline and drive. And Sami, if you want help writing it, man, because, hit me up. But regardless of that, Swan and Callahan will get a match against a tag team title match against the Rascals next week. So next week's card stacking up here. As is Bound for Glory, because Chris Sabin's talking. I love this video package. I thought there was a perfect blend of history, and then obviously Kenta's not here, so a little bit of Kenta footage and all this. Great to drive this home. Great Chris Sabin promo. Everything looked good aesthetically. Really enjoyed this. And I am a sucker. You guys know that, for the TNA belts. Most of the versions of those compared to what we have now. I do enjoy the Art Deco look of it. We could go through each one, and I'm sure I will at some point. But I love with this Papa Red especially. This Pop of Red especially. Papa Red. I think that's Crimson's name. Papa Red at first, right? I love that belt. That's all I was going to say. I just love the X Division title. And it looks good on Chris Sabin, man, for the 10th time. But we're going to get Kenta versus Sabin. I'm still thinking Kenta picks up the win. But I'm cool if he doesn't. Next up is Josh versus Khan. Khan, if you guys remember, he came in for that quick surprise defeat against Josh when he first came in. Like, there was that gap too, right? He came for that match, gap, and then he came in with the VBD thing. But they're gonna get some time to play here, and I thought this was an enjoyable match, man. The C4 spike was impressive at the end. And I enjoy both of these dudes. Obviously, Josh is the walking weapon, and Josh, who I'll talk about in a second. There's so many Mr. Impacts, man, but definitely a foundation piece, and definitely the Bret Hart of Impact. But during this match, Josh accidentally hits Shelley. After the match, Shelley, there's no mistake, purposely hits Josh. So putting some heat here. We're going to end off on that. I thought it was enjoyable. It pushed things for Bound for Glory forward. It solidified some things for Bound for Glory. But there were some things that were, I won't say the drizzling shits, but definitely some turds. And for that reason, I'm going to go 7.25, because I still think beginning to end, it's still an enjoyable wrestling show. Nielsen ratings were down a bit, and that's one person in Battle Creek turned off their TV this week. So who gives a shit? Once again, 44,000 people. Households don't represent 350 million Americans. But that's just me. Regardless, you guys care about them. So that's what matters. The YouTube numbers, though, this is something I have noticed. There were times where you'd scroll through YouTube. What do you guys call it? I don't know. The feed, right? And they had all the pictures now. Like the comments and the pictures. They're all old. But the thumbs up on those have gained massively in numbers, I've noticed. Maybe I'm wrong. But as I scanned through it, there was times where, barely breaking 1,000. I'm noticing some old videos that are more recent, but of old footage, because nostalgia always sells, are high up. A lot of positive momentum for Impact, and the comments are looking better and better. So positive momentum for Impact. They're feeling it as well. And thought it was a good show to continue our road to Bound for Glory. Next week, we do have that 5-way matchup for the 1 in 20. We have Eddie versus Kaz in a 2 of 3 killer match. If you told me Vince Russo started booking this week, or giving his feelers or critiques via email, I wouldn't be surprised. But we're going to get Eddie versus Kaz 2 of 3 killer match. We're going to get Rich and Sami in the tag team title match against the Rascals. The one thing I was going to mention, and we'll hit up Bound for Glory in just a second, but Josh was interviewed and had some really great moments in that interview. I always love reading Josh's thing because he always is putting the company first. And in his question about PWI, the 500, they asked him, how it was to be so high up. And excuse me, I don't know the number, but I know it was top 10, right? And his thing was about how it was great for Impact, which, man, company dude. And then sugar on top, or cherry on top, is that they asked him about if he could tag again. They mentioned Ethan Page, Chandler Park, and mentioned that it's not going to be likely for other reasons. I'm sure there's other reasons, but he's in a different company. I distinctly remember after he signed with that company, him talking about why would he want to perform in X amount of fans, and seemed kind of directed towards a certain company, but I digress. Regardless, he did mention Bailey would be one that he would be interested in, Shelley as well, but Bailey was interested because he said maybe form that Team Canada 2.0. So the hope is still there. Gotta cleanse the palate a little bit. We've been having some teases and some not come together when the perfect moment might have been there. So let's see what happens, but keeping the hope alive. One thing I did notice as well, AXSTV, a big push for that. Like I already mentioned how Bully was mentioning, how many people are going to AXSTV when CM Punk is on Impact? So definitely going with pushing AXSTV compared to pushing ourselves on a different channel. So growing AXSTV, it seems to be the goal. And Kaz is going to be on some rock and roll show on there. I think EY still has a show on there. Remember the Good Brothers did as well. So these are some added things when we talk about I don't want to say CM Punk, but at least a Dolph Ziggler or someone like that, where back in the day we'd say, well, he's going to go for the last cash grab. He's going to go for this. We have the portfolio within Anthem to make it interesting for some people. So I just want to, that's something that came to mind when I was hearing the AXSTV talk, but just something to think about. If we don't go on another channel, what are the positives of owning our own? What else do I got on tap here? I got Hulk Hogan. He was asked by Chris Van Vliet what his favorite part of TNA was. And I don't think he's ever been asked something positive. So he just froze for a bit and said something self-serving. Self-admittedly, it was that Dixie Carter was nice to him and always paid him on time. So there's that. Once again, you can see Hulk Hogan positive, high five, positive, top 5 positive things this week in the treehouse. But thanks, Hulk, for that. And then Fallout for Bound for Glory, where he announced Ospreay versus Josh. Didn't say if it was a title match or not. But then they released that Shelley versus Gresham. So who knows if that's a title shot or not. So keeping the kayfabe there. But either way, Ospreay versus Josh, Shelley versus Gresham. Bangers of matches, I anticipate. And then Myron Reed, the fourth Rascal, has joined Impact, or seems to be so. We have the cross the line ready, just in case. But he will definitely be there for the Fallout to wrestle the Lucha Libre team. We are honoring Lucha Libre at the Fallout. Conan K-Dog making his return, man. Very excited for that. But Myron Reed, are you guys familiar with his work? Young dude, so I'm excited about that. Another great prospect to add to the core here. And like I said before, the fourth Rascal, so the chemistry is going to be there. It gives the Rascals the ability to have a little free bird to them. Go for the X maybe, go for the DMC. Who knows, go for the World while still maintaining the tag. I think that's going to be a really cool dynamic. And for Lucha, his dream of the Trios Championship stays alive. I don't think we need it. Think you could keep playing around with trios owning the tag team titles or being in possession of. But yeah, I'm really excited to see Myron Reed finally make his way into Impact and hopefully cross the line and dot the I's and cross the T's. Bound for Glory is shaping up, folks. Rascals versus ABC, or Sami and Sami and Rich versus ABC. Deonna and Tasha versus MK Ultra. Shelley versus Josh. Ospreay versus Bailey. Tongue's getting heavy. Yeah. Got a little moose in me, huh? Shelley and Josh. Ospreay, Bailey. Trinity versus Mickey. and the Collier Shot Gauntlet, as well as Kenta and Sabin, and I imagine we'll get at least, what's that, 7? We're gonna last 3 more matches. We got the countdown and such as well. All right, guys, I've been trying to buzz through this. It wasn't a newsworthy week. Obviously, I'm talking about Hulk Hogan comments on a Chris Van Vliet interview that were not groundbreaking. But definitely wanted to hit on everything. And I want to hit on next is your comments. And then nappy nap for me. Thank you guys for rocking with me. I hope that this is fun for you guys. Hit like, hit subscribe. I appreciate you all. Make sure you comment. Even if it's something not positive, you know, we could always put a positive spin on it, see the silver lining. Let's see what we got this week. Our buddy Gary, love your reaction shows, Geoff. Thank you, buddy. I give Impact a 8.5 this week. That was this week. Looking forward to see what you vote this or rank it this week, buddy. I do think Moose has a world title shot coming. I do too. I see a woman winning the Collier Shot Gauntlet match at Bound for Glory. I'm cool with that. I like that they don't always announce everyone pre-show, I guess, build up. So there might be some surprises, but I think that would be a cool twist. I don't know if it's a twist really, because they've always participated, if I'm not mistaken. But with people like Jordan around and maybe not having a marquee matchup, it would be cool to have that come to fruition. Thank you, Gary. Either way, I love the Collier Shot. Sky's Blurred 23, and we got some responses, which is cool. I think the knockouts need more jobbers or at least bring in local talent just so top talent doesn't have to get pinned so much. In reference to Giselle, I think. I mean, Trinity has almost gone through the entire roster already. They need longer lasting feuds to avoid this. I agreed with the feud thing. I'm glad she's wrestling the fall at Bound for Glory. It does make me kind of think that the contract is only to Bound for Glory or that weekend. I hope not. I hope she's a part of the team for the future and the present, the future, and everything. She's great. And has only added since she's been here. But it does feel like they have been feeding people. I could see that. As far as burning through, let's see the responses, and then I'll put my spin on it. But Roger Pace, 3749, wrong. Trinity didn't go through the entire roster yet. There's more matchups Trinity can go against in a storyline. Rolly Boy, which is Io killing on Twitter. Thank you, buddy. She didn't face everyone or nearly yet. As you guys can see there, also thank you for the thumbs up on everyone's comments. Really helps. I love that, guys. Really cool to see that. Agree or not with them. Yeah, my take on it is, I agree partially as far as the feuds. There's been not really big feuds for Trinity. There have been feuds, but in the time she's been there, she's picked up victories not within feuds. So I agree. But there are a lot of people, man, that I think would be first time and, if I'm not mistaken, and really cool matchups. Killer Kelly, Masha. These people who are in that the tag division right now, and that includes, not saying Jessica and Courtney Rush, but what about Rosemary and Havoc? Put a little spin on that. I think there's some people that she's already had matches with that you can not repackage, but put a spin or a little flavor on to put a program behind their next matchup. Yes, I already lost, but here's why you should care now. So I think they could do that as well. Speaking of flavor, Tasha. Her and Tasha is a matchup that hasn't happened. Her and Jordan haven't really went head-to-head one-on-one, right? So I think there's some still. I get your idea. We do have a small roster. But when you have a face champion, you kind of got to feed. The AJ Daniels matches went on forever, but those matches were amazing. The matches with Kaz Eddie are not on that level, so it just seems like matches to take up TV time. Yeah, I gave a thumbs down to that one. Just because I think that's a slap to Kaz and Eddie. Are Kaz and Eddie in their 40s as good as AJ and Daniels in their 20s, 30s, and then, 30s, 40s? No. Different dynamic. But is this giving two guys who are veterans that do deserve to be on TV something to do and stay on our television and keep upping the ante? We get a Hall of Fame announcement out of it. We get the rise of Lish and some interesting things with her and Trinity and her with Eddie. So I thought this feud has killed a lot of birds with one stone, while giving them something to do so they're not getting, pinned elsewhere or just in random feuds for no reason. So I like it. I'm not on that train, but I do agree that, obviously AJ and Daniels versus, or Kaz and Eddie are going to be a little bit different of matchups, but I enjoy them. What do you guys think? It's the same for me with Bailey and Gresham. Look, we have a smaller roster. It is what it is. But to keep some familiarity, especially when you don't have true house shows, and keep some chemistry going throughout the main roster, I like it. I like it. And it doesn't tire out those characters because you're keeping them within this feud, and then eventually they can go on to the next. All right. And last but not least, Roger Pace. Welcome. I don't know if this is your first one. That sounds familiar, your name, but thank you either way. I would like to see a Mustafa Ali, Aaliyah, and Dana Brooke in Impact Wrestling. So, we talked about this the past few weeks about WWE releases and how I hope everyone gets a job, of course. Is that within Impact? I don't know. It's got to be a perfect matchup. The same with, as I said, with Ziggler. There are those people that you could go above and beyond for, as long as it's within means and it pleases everybody. Obviously, matchups, of course. What do you get out of them being on your screen? What can you give them to want to be with your company? So it all has to match up. With people like Mustafa Ali, I don't know enough of the work. Aaliyah and Dana as well. Dana Brooke a little bit more familiar. Aaliyah, I knew her from that, was it like a reality thing or something? Yeah, I don't remember. So I haven't seen her since from the network. So I can't make a great assessment. What I can say is if everything lines up and they add something to the table, then I'm all for it. If we're paying another group of people who, got a little bit of rub from WWE but need to fix a lot of things to be, for me willing to take away other people's TV time that we have on the roster, that's where we got to talk and figure out. Cat sneezing, bless you. That's where we got to figure out. Because unless no one's really going to move the needle, let's be real. But who can come in and contribute enough to where it's worth bringing them in and taking some of that 92 minutes away from someone else? I don't know why I went up like that. But thank you, Roger Pace. We'll see what happens. Either way, there's a lot of people talking positive vibes about CM Punk coming out. I'm talking from Rascals to Josh to Bully to everyone. It feels like the sheets are filled with people welcoming Punk in. So we'll see what happens, guys. Either way, we have a lot of great talent coming in. We have a lot of great talent already on here. And, we're putting out solid TV, and people are starting to recognize that. Stay drama free. Keep promoting Impact while not, by letting the product speak for itself, because most weeks it does, man. And even though I didn't think this was great as the previous few weeks, I thought it still kept momentum and still kept me entertained. So excited to see what Impact has going into Bound for Glory, and excited for Bound for Glory. You could catch us here after Bound for Glory that Sunday, the 22nd. Live, we'll be back with the podcast. We'll see what the dynamic is, but I'm sure Lucha and myself will be there at least. Like I said, go check out LOL TNA on Tuesday for our 420 video. It's the Hulk Hogan top 5, high 5 positive things that happened during his era. And then we'll reveal week to week what the next video will be. We got some really fun stuff, and I'm trying not to say it. What does it matter? We'll let the anticipation build, right? Either way, check out GoGo Power Rankings as well every Tuesday. And keep rocking with Impact. Keep rocking with this channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. And I won't drag this out any longer. Thank you for coming out, guys. God bless and good night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.